Hey y'all, welcome back to Sound of Drop Fall into Poison. This is part 3, and as of right now we have come to the aquarium, and our main character, Mayu, she has seen her long-lost sister in the aquarium, and she started chasing after her, and her friend Himino is like, what the heck? So now we gotta figure out what's going on. Alright, and that's where I'm gonna start. But that is not something I can do. It isn't the similarities that are the problem. Mari is here, and just as she had been on that day, there is no way I can go home without taking her with me. Mayu, tell me what's going on. Who is Mari? Why do you keep running off without saying anything? Tears are pouring out of Himino's eyes. I can't understand why she's so sad. But still, my little sister, she was here. Little sister? See, the girl I was chasing, she's my little sister. Mari disappeared 5 years ago at this aquarium. Looking at Himino's tear-stained face, I no longer feel like hiding anything. Perhaps in the depths of my consciousness, I'm hoping Himino will become satisfied and say she wants to look for Mari with me. I'll explain in more detail later. On top of that, when I look back once more, Himino squeezes my hand and holds me back. This is the gentlest, but the strongest, that she's held my hand. Himino stares into my eyes, then tilts her head to the side. What do you mean? You were chasing someone? I told you, the little girl that was in front of me, wearing the ultramarine coat and the boots, remember? That was Mari, exactly how she looked long ago. Mai, snap out of it! Himino shouts. It isn't simply a loud voice, but one weighed down with great sadness. It definitely gets through to me, but that doesn't mean it will stop me. Because without a doubt, I was right. Mari had been right before my eyes, so I had to chase. Let's just say that even if this Marie girl is here, she would have grown in 5 years and her clothes wouldn't be the same. It's summer, so she wouldn't be wearing a coat. Moreover, she was here. I saw her. No, Mayu, no. Mayu, you weren't chasing anyone. You just took off running, leaving me behind, okay? Could you just calm down for a bit? Our tickets will get us back in, so how about some cocoa in the rest area? I think you're tired, since you were a little shaky earlier. Himino seems pretty frantic, so I know she isn't lying just to persuade me. But there's no way that my seeing Mari there was a lie. That's why I start to speak without really knowing what I want to say. Himino. Mayu. Okay? Wiping away her tears, Himino smiles at me. Surely she has plenty of strong feelings about this whole thing. I'm sure she has loads to say about me keeping the Mari thing and my reason for resisting visiting Manton Aquarium quiet. Even so, it seems as though Himino has accepted me. She just smiles and lets it go. That's probably right. Surely, if we're by the entrance, we'll know if Marie comes out. Mayu, that's good. That's right. That's more like you. Let's go have some cocoa and you can tell me everything. As she smiles, Himino once again takes my hand into her soft palm. Oh, that's right. You dropped this. You gotta be more careful. With a hand that isn't holding my own, she hands me something small. It's a keychain. The blue droplet shape is inlaid with the stardust and also holds a starfish charm. It isn't exactly rare, being a giveaway item. But why did Himino have it? Only questions arise in my mind. Why when that keychain was? On thinking about it, I instinctively shake off Himino's hand. Hey, what are you doing? After I picked it up for you and all. Himino's voice is like an arrow piercing through me. The pain in my chest is nothing more than discomfort. What is Himino saying? That isn't mine, so I can't possibly have dropped it. And now I can't look at Himino's face. Liar. Huh? Liar? That's not mine. It isn't something I dropped. It was Mari's. Mari dropped it. That can't be. I'm not lying. Really, there was no Mari-chan, so she couldn't have dropped the keychain. Himino was becoming more gruff as she continued. Really? Isn't it you who's lying? No one else is here. That's enough. Himino, you dummy. Saying only that, I turned my back on Himino. When I glanced back, Himino's shocked expression was getting further away. She was there. Mari had definitely been there. Because the keychain Himino had, it belonged to Mari. There was no way I could forget. It was just before Mari went missing. For the two of you, just this once. Upon saying that, Mom handed us each 100 yen coins. That day was a cold winter day. At the Manta Aquarium souvenir area, the smell of construction lingered faintly in the air. There were manta and penguin stuffed animals stationary with the logo on it, and various souvenirs. At the entrance to that souvenir stand, there were the gacha machines containing that keychain. I don't remember all the various types, but star sand was packed in the plastic drops, and the charms were all modeled after fish at the aquarium. It was fairly typical for a gacha, but at the time, it seemed very enticing to me. It was the same for Mari, and we gazed into the gacha machine. Mari was the one who would usually beg our parents at this point, but neither of us had bought a souvenir, and both of us said we wanted the keychains. Since Mom couldn't be completely broken, she emphasized the one-time only bit. Yay! Mari held out both hands with glee, while I probably just smiled. I remember that inside. I was just as happy. As to which of us went first, it was of course the more assertive Mari. She was always like this, a cheerful and inquisitive child. How cute, Mr. Star! Mari got a starfish charm keychain. At this point, Mari still didn't know the difference between a starfish and a star. I was next to get one. It was a pink drop with a jellyfish charm. A jellyfish. Huh? That's the one I wanted most. Mari pointed the index finger of her tiny hand, exclaiming in a loud voice. Mari was just learning how to use first person when she mentioned herself instead of a normal I or me. She said it slowly. Hey, Oni-chan. Trade me, or Nei-chan. Hey, Oni-chan, trade me. No way, I want this one. Oh. Naturally, as I had already fallen in love with that sign, I obstinately turned her down. Upon begging my mother for one more time, my mother, who had warned us earlier, held her purse strings tight, leaving Mari to sulk. Fine, stupid Oni-chan. Without listening to my mother's admonishments, she ran off. Sulking after being called stupid, I naturally didn't chase her right away. My mother, being optimistic about the aquarium's small size, also waited a while to go looking for Marie. And now, all I'm left with are my regrets. If only I had gone after her sooner. If only I traded her keychains in the first place. Even so, the past is unchanging, and I am left with only my regrets to bear. So in case I could ever trade with Mari again, I've stubbornly carried around that keychain, the one with a pink droplet shaped with the jellyfish charm, like a treasure. I rummaged through my bag, seeking to feel the keychain in my hand. Huh? Why? At a time like this, I had forgotten to bring it. The keychain wasn't in the bag nor my pockets. A sigh naturally slipped out of my body. After all, I've lost sight of Mari and strayed from Himino. Himino has the building map, so there's nothing I can do. Huh? At that moment, a pungent aroma floats by and causes me to speak in surprise. Unable to bear the irritating stench, I pinch my nose. Still, the stench seems to twist in my nose. It's made of the smell of sewage, sulfur, and the nauseating stink of vinegar. Ooh. Squish. As soon as I try to get away from the smell, something soft creeps along the bottom of my foot. As I hesitantly look down, I realize the true identity of the putrid odor. It's a corpse. I'm not sure what type, but it's as big as my arm span. The body is slowly decaying and hasn't retained its original form yet by its bulging round eyes and slightly extended tail fin. I can just barely tell it was a fish. I couldn't tell right away, but it has a silhouette similar to a pirarucu. I feel like I've seen those eerie glowing eyes characteristics of freshwater fish. I feel sick. I've moved my foot slowly and a small fragment of the corpse sticks to the bottom of my shoe, on the underside of which I notice something wriggling desperately. The slight sound of flapping wings departs from beside my ear, and I understand that the wriggling thing is an insect. Ah! Shaking, chills run up my spine as if someone had pressed ice to it. I take a step back and drop my cell phone. The phone reacts with a black backlight and LCD screen coming on, illuminating the dead body. The syrupy dead body absorbs the light and the winged insect that flees to avoid it. There is also a meandering white nematode that seems not to notice. The backlight soon disappears, leaving its stench amidst the darkness. The shadows of those hideous insects are scorched into my retinas. They sway like the light off a heat haze in the darkness. Something was creeping up from the pit of my stomach. I'm just gonna throw up. Just throw up, I guess. I throw up everything that had welled up inside me. It doesn't all come out at once, taking 2, 3 times of convulsing to get all the vomit out. It was disgusting. Still, even more disgusting was the fact that the insects had gathered around my vomit as if it were a feast. What in the world was happening? Why did I have to relive these memories? I can't figure out the answer to my doubts. Not at all. I covered my eyes with both hands. I couldn't have made it if I didn't. By shutting out my vision leaves my sense of smell, causing the smell of rotten water and the stench of the dead body to become more intense, so I uncover my eyes. No. What is this? This is a place for the customers. Is it really alright for this to be here? On top of that, I was in the middle of chasing Mari, wasn't I? No, that isn't the problem. It's strange enough that there's a place like this in the middle of an aquarium. Anyway, I have to get out of here. The stench is so overpowering, it's as if I can see it. I want to get out of here quickly, satisfying myself with the argument that it's a garbage dump or something, and that if I only get away, I'll be fine. At any rate, I can go back the way I came. No, that's no good. I might run into Himino. At this moment, I don't want to see her face. My eyes having adjusted a bit to the darkness, I search for a way out. Here, the tanks are broken, the little remaining water stinking, and the bodies of living things have tumbled out here and there. I think about how happy I am that I can't see. Even so, to find the exit, I'll have to look around. My nose has begun to go numb, and thanks to that, I'm somehow able to retain my sanity. Before long, I find a dim emergency light behind one of the tanks and head towards it as if it were the last hope I could cling to. I feel squishing several times beneath my feet, but I try to ignore it and move on. As I move towards the emergency light, it seems the smell is becoming faint. I get used to the scattered shards of glass and the rotten fish corpses just before I reach the door. The tip of my shoe feels as if it has kicked something hard, something different from before. Wondering what I had kicked, I casually looked down. No. I get the sensation that all the blood has stopped flowing through me and that my heart has stopped completely. The round thing I kicked has patches of hair, 2 eyes, a nose with a bone to it, and a mouth. Altogether, it is a human face. Oh, why is it red? Maybe just to be creepy. Speaking accurately, it's a head rather than a face. It's completely lifeless and rolls away with a flopping sound when my foot touches it. Seeing the state the head is in, I begin to feel ill again despite having finally calmed down from before. Of the white cranium, only the forehead area seems to be exposed. It seems this is new and has only just begun to decay. No, for starters, there is no way human heads should be rolling around here. It's my imagination. Or it has to be from some model. I haven't yet looked in the direction it was rolling. Convincing myself that it isn't a human head, it really is different. So there was no satisfying myself. I placed my hands on the door in an attempt to escape. Unable to control my shaking hands, it takes 3 tries before I can open the door. It's a heavy fire door that is usually open. Oh, pretty. I step inside with my thoughts racing, and the atmosphere changes completely once more. I can hear the sound of the door closing behind me. Inside is a very clean place. The transparent water is tinted a faint blue, and inside float fantasy-like jellyfish. Countless pillar-shaped tanks are spread around, and the water shimmers as it reflects the light of the fluorescent lamp, red and yellow, green and purple, the jellyfish's bodies diffusing light like a prism. In spite of the strange space I have reached, I'm fascinated by the shimmering live art display. Himino, I mutter without thinking. Then I quickly shake my head, erasing the image of Himino's face that appears in my mind. Earlier, she didn't come after me. After all, Himino chose on her own to part ways from me. I'm sure it's because she dislikes me now. It isn't something I should worry about. Even at a quick glance, I can see that there are various types of jellyfish in the tank. Having made efficient use of the small space, it's a charming area. It vividly expresses a starry sky, as is fitting of the name Mountain Aquarium. Compared to the earlier Fish of the World booth, this one isn't the least bit in decay. I wonder if Marie came this way. I feel worried about Himino. All of a sudden I'll go back. Going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. I have to press on. These are red. So I think there was something about these. Yeah, you would think maybe a bad end if I pressed the wrong thing, maybe. I'm worried about going back. I don't know. I guess I'll just say to press on. Going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. I have to press on. And so I start towards the starry sky. I gaze in fascination to the right and left of me. If circumstances weren't what they are, I would have stopped and stared into each and every tank. The tanks all lined up together and are beautiful enough, but each one is vivid like the night sky and laid with jewels. Altogether there are 7 tanks. Each one holds a different type of jellyfish, some with poison, some without, categorized by aspects such as where they live. They really are beautiful. I stop and stand in the very center, between the 3rd and 4th tanks. I wonder if the last time we came, these tanks were here. Nakanovi Mari, my little sister. I lean my back against one of the tanks and sit down. Whenever Marie's face appears in my mind, I lose all of my strength. If anyone saw me, I'd be embarrassed, but here, now in Mountain Aquarium, there's no one around. I heave a sigh and look up at the ceiling. For some reason, a large fan is revolving there. My memories of the last time we visited Mountain Aquarium aren't all bad. It was the first time in a long time all 4 of us had gone out as a family. Marie and I got along really well, and we always held hands as we walked. We would do things like play house or read picture books aloud. Marie was a bit more of a tomboy than I, so even though I was the older sister, she was the one who gave the orders. Since it was the first time the 2 of us sisters went to the aquarium, it was natural for us to be very excited. Just as one would expect, the first time Marie and I laid eyes on the creatures of the sea, we experienced fear, awe, and the sense of being deeply moved. The creatures we saw at the time have stayed with me as vivid memories. Happy memories. I still have plenty of them. But on such a special day of all days, Marie and I ended up fighting. The rest proceeded just as I remember. Since then, my parents buy me anything I want. However, I changed as well, and I didn't really want anything anymore. Greed itself seemed to decline for me, and I never really got excited for anything. That's why when my mother bought me these boot sandals, I was happy, and I was fascinated by their nostalgic ultramarine color. About 1 year after Marie disappeared, she stopped coming up in conversation. I don't know if my mother and father had accepted it as a tragic accident or if the sadness had slowly faded, but my new normal had begun. I had become an only child. But that is nothing more than an excuse I can't escape from. Marie, you're here, right? Finally, it seems my strength has returned and I stand up, even though I asked. No one will come. The thundering ventilation fan in the ceiling is the only sound I can hear. It was almost at the same time I stood up. I'm not gonna scream. A crack appears in the glass of the tank behind me. Since the glass doesn't make any noise when it splits, I realize it's broken when the water splashes on my rear end. Water continues to flow out, gradually spreading up to my feet. The amount of water from the tank is more than just puddles after a heavy downpour. Along with the water flowing forth, the jellyfish that had been in the tank just until a moment ago flowed out. In order to avoid contact with the water already soaking my sandals, I step back from the puddles without looking away. How? Why? As if to play further with my already bewildered mind, the tank behind me also cracks. This time, I hear the high-pitched noise of glass cracking. Following that, the tanks are each destroyed in turn. Being stuck in the middle of a passage, water is closing in on me from all sides, leaving me pressed in between, the edge of the water steadily drawing near. What should I do? I'm going to quick save, I guess. Quick save complete. Okay, how do I... What does this mean, log? I don't want to touch anything. I don't know how visual novels work. Okay. The words that slide from my mouth also flow away with the water. The colors of the tanks that had once been so vibrant now seem eerie to me. Among these jellyfish are poisonous ones. Even worse, some of them are fatal. On thinking that, my legs begin to shake in fear. No. But no matter how frightened I become, I know I can sit down. As if the area I'm in is shrinking, water and jellyfish are both heading toward me, and it's impossible for me to touch the floor. No choice but to run straight through. No, I can't think of anything. No choice but to run straight through. It seems like she's gonna die that way. No, I can't think of it. She'd die that way too, right? Let's run straight through. I have no choice but to run straight through. I no longer have time for doubt. At a glance, the door on the opposite side is closer than the one I came through. From here, the distance isn't too far to the interior door. Running at top speed should be good enough to reach that one. I hesitate for a moment, then grit my teeth and take off running. It's no more than 10 meters. It is a distance that should pose no trouble, even for someone like me who tested below average in physical endurance. When I had run about 5 meters, just having passed the 6th tank, I fall full force onto my back. The floor is so wet, so one might say this should have been expected. No, this is disgusting. The water soaks through my skirt and quickly soaks my underwear. The tank water is in direct contact with the skin on my rear. It is cold and wet, uncomfortable, but unavoidable. When I put my hand on the floor to try to stand up, I discover that action is a mistake. Uh-oh. Ouch. I squeeze my eyes shut at the pain that feels like I've been stabbed by a cold metal needle. No, it doesn't just feel like it. I have been stabbed by something. Have I been stung by? Shaking, I shift my line of sight to my hands. A jellyfish is covering my right hand. At that moment, I get upset that I can't feel the coldness of the water on my right hand. I got stung. What do I do? The pamphlet introducing the jellyfish has gotten mixed up with the pieces of glass from the tank. Man of War. I noticed the name without much of a reaction, but it has to be poisonous to be called that. There have also been incidents of fatalities. Fatalities. Poison. What do I do if I've been stung? Do I clean it? Is it bad if I don't clean it? I can feel my pulse quickening. I wonder if it's the poison making its way through me. What do I do? What do I do? When I try to will myself to calm down, my impatience ramps up. Someone help me. Trying to use my pulsating right hand for support to push myself up, I slide in the puddle and can't stand. It hurts. It really hurts. I put water on the area where I had been stung in an attempt to rinse it out. However, the opening of the wound stings and startles me. I need fresh water. Trying to apply pressure to the vein, I tightly grip the area where I'd been stung. Dad, Mom, Himino, Mari. Wanting to be saved, I call it as loudly as I can. However, in reality, my voice has already grown hoarse. The corners of my eyes grow hot, and from then fall individual droplets. No, I'm going to die. My voice is no longer really a voice at all. Before long, an electric shock runs through my right hand. The subsiding of the intense pain brings my senses back to me, but my voice will no longer come out. Even when I try to think of something, nothing happens except a sensation of pain whirling inside me that fills me to the brim. Unable to control my body, I fall to the ground. First my head, then my chest. From my body to my feet. Having fallen on my face, half of my body submerged in water. My heartbeat quickens. I become acutely aware of the flow of my blood. Unable to stand it, I vomit. The very idea of being able to endure it no longer occurs to me. Even so, the poison won't be expelled from my body. My entire being becoming numb is proof that my blood has been pumping so quickly it has worn down my veins. Wanting to rinse out the remaining vomit in my mouth, I suck in water. It tastes like salt. Within my body, I'm struggling with all I have. On the outside, my shell has long exceeded the limits of its stamina. Blood is soaking through the capillaries in my eyeballs, and the puddles spreading on the floor are pierced with red. Gradually, I stop feeling my blood flow. Is it because my heart has stopped? Or because my consciousness has disappeared? Either way, my consciousness stops and fades into the darkness. With the same simplicity that a ventilation fan spews out old air, my breath is evacuated from my body. Okay, it doesn't look like she dies. Well, I'm going to end that episode here. If you made it this far, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos. And I hope to see you guys continue the story with me in part 4. Yeah, so thank you. Thanks for watching, and bye!